Hi guys, wee Bob here, and as you might be able to see, I'm a bit rough around the edges. I've been dared to see how long I can go without shaving, so we'll see how that goes. I'm not very good at growing a beard in any way, shape, or form, so I don't tend to even try. But a dare's a dare, I suppose, if you want to call it a dare. It's not really a dare. My wife just said to me, "See how long you can go. Can you go to Christmas without shaving?" So we'll see how that goes. This video is kind of a Friday foursome mixed in with a vlog because I'm tired and I want to do the video, but at the same time I'm just it's been a week, and if you're on some of the discords I'm on, you'll know the reason why, and I'll talk about that a bit later after I've done the Friday foursome. So the Friday foursome this month is, I believe, female protagonists. I haven't went back and double checked the description, so we'll see if I get it right. And also, I struggled with this one because there's actually not that many. Well, there is a lot of games, but there's not that many games I've played that have a female protagonist that I. So it's who's your favourite, I guess. And we'll start with the most obvious one, probably in the whole of gaming world. I've got a light over here, so my boy's got lights. Anyway, Lara Croft is number one on my list. Lara Croft being famous for Tomb Raider, and then the movies, which were pretty poor, and all the other Tomb Raiders that came along after. I mean, I remember getting the PlayStation 1, I remember playing Tomb Raider and it being just a great game. I just loved it, and I've played some of the more recent ones. I haven't played all of them, definitely haven't, but she is the kind of best female protagonist out there, I'm guessing, in the gaming world, certainly the most known. So there's not really much to say about Lara Croft. She's just a cool fighting female character, and they've kind of changed her obviously with time passing and the world of body image, I suppose, might be the best way to go with that. They've brought her back to being a kind of normal looking female character, and the most recent ones I really enjoyed. I actually really enjoyed I don't even know what it's called. It's the one where you're kind of climbing a cliff and then you're stranded on a deserted island with people chasing you. I played it because it was on Xbox Gold, and yep. So that was quite a few years ago now. So it's been a while since I've played any Tomb Raider. So second on my list is Blaze, which I believe Novabug maybe chose as well, from Streets of Rage. And I choose this because I played a lot of Streets of Rage as a kid, have played it since, and I usually choose Blaze as a main character because she's got such a good kick and she's fast, whereas the other guys are a bit sluggish, and she's just a great character and she kicks everybody's butt. So yeah, Blaze from Streets of Rage is number two. Number three, I was struggling with protagonists, like I say, and I was stuck because there's a game called Heavenly Sword, and I don't know the name of the female character that plays in that, but it was one of the games that sold me on the PlayStation 3. I've got it through in my room. It's one of those games I want to go and play. I believe that the voice for the game was done by Anna Torv, and Anna Torv is the main lead in the Fringe series. If you've never seen Fringe, it's like the X-Files. Me and my kids have been watching, my wife and my kids have been watching it, going through the series again. Me and my wife watched it when it first came out, and then I think we're on to season 4 now with the kids. So yeah, Anna Torv does the voice for the Heavenly Sword character, but that's not who I kind of chose because I haven't really played that game. I'm going to go back and play it. I'm going to leave my best one for last. If you've watched any of my videos, you might already know who it's going to be. But Sadie Adler, and this isn't my last one. Sadie Adler in Red Dead Redemption 2 is probably on my list, even though you don't play as that character, and it might not be allowed. So if that's not allowed, you can go back to Heavenly Sword. But Sadie Adler is like a main character in Red Dead Redemption 2, and she comes in missions with you, and she's kind of got a grudge to settle with certain people, and it's quite a good story. It's quite a good side story. quite a bit of passion in that character, and I just enjoyed that character being in the game. Very, very strong woman, somebody you wouldn't mess with in the slightest, and it's just very well done. It's a very nicely kind of portrayed character in my mind, anyway. So last on my list, and this probably crosses not just gaming, this crosses movies, it crosses games, it crosses books, I guess. And the character is Ellen Ripley. And she appeared in probably previous Friday Foursomes. I think in my last video I mentioned how narrow my gaming experience has been over the years. And it certainly has. My gaming experience has been very much the blockbusters. There's not really any side games that I play, just because I don't get a lot of time to play games. So yeah, Ellen Ripley, or if you want to include Amanda Ripley, so if again my last one doesn't count, you could probably put Amanda Ripley in there from Alien Isolation. A character kind of threw out of her depth, but Ellen Ripley especially the way the movies go. But in this case I was thinking about a game I had been playing recently, and that game was Alien 3 on the Mega Drive, which I'd always kind of put on and turned off after a few seconds because I just kept dying. And it is a game of memory, so you've kind of got to play it, figure out the maps, and then play it again so that you know where to go and rescue the hostages. I've managed to do level 1, I've not managed to get past level 2, I don't think yet. Because you've got to know where the exit is, as well as the timer counting down. You've got to rescue all the hostages before the exit will open. It's quite a difficult game, but a good game overall. So yeah, that's my 4 for Friday Foursome. So we're 7 minutes in according to the timer on my screen. What I will do now is move on to just life in general, why I'm tired. So if you were here for the Friday Foursome, that's me done. So life has been busy, and this weekend has been a particularly difficult weekend. So on Thursday night, or when Tuesday or Wednesday, my daughter came to me and she says, "Dad, can we look after my friend's dog?" And I said, "Okay, I'm not keen on looking after people's precious items, and that's especially the case now." So I said yes. We had watched my friend's dogs relatively recently as well, and the dog was coming on Thursday night. So the dog arrived on Thursday night. Lovely wee fluffy, is that a cockapoo, a cocker spaniel and a poodle mix, and fluffy wee monster, beautiful. And what happened was on Friday, no, we got the dog on Wednesday night. On Thursday morning I needed to run the kids to school, and I seen that the car window was steamed up, so I went out to the car, closed the door, and sat and started to clear the screen. And this video is just me kind of getting this out here because I need to. It's just an experience I need to describe in detail, so this may go on for a wee while. So apologies, but so I sat in the car, and I think one of my daughters came out for school, get in the back. I was getting ready to run them along. Working from home, so I just make up the time at the end of the day as well. But I'm sitting there, I think I went on my phone for 2 minutes just to find out where people were. Okay, so I'm going to have to try and figure out where I was there. I was in the middle of talking and I got a phone call. But yeah, the wee dog was delivered on Wednesday night. So and that's where I was. I think I was sitting in the car, looking at my phone, and my wife opens the door, and I looked at her face and I was like, this is the face of either somebody's not with us any longer, or something bad's happened. And she says the wee dog's ran away, which I've had experience of when I was a kid. One of our aunts gave us her dog and it ran away. I remember chasing it down the street and it was gone for 3 days. Thankfully we found it at its old owner's house. So I get out the car, my daughter was in the car in the back, my wife says I'll deal with the car, and I ran down the street and managed to get in front of the wee dog, and my daughter was coming down behind me, and we managed to kind of heard it behind a car, and the wee dog wouldn't go to my daughter and it wouldn't come to me, and it just dashed past my legs and bolted down the street, straight down the middle of the road, busy road, then on another busy road, straight down that street. I got to the end of the street and there's a bin lorry coming up, and he's like, "You looking for a wee dog?" I was like, "Yes, where is it?" And he's like, "It's down the end of the road." And I bolted down the bottom of this road, and we're talking quite a fair distance here, so I'm starting to run out of steam. I've got asthma, really starting to struggle, and I turned, just asking everybody, "Have you seen this wee dog?" And I have to say my faith in humanity has been restored to a certain extent, because everybody's like, "Oh, the wee dogs ran that way." So it ran away in front of the local school, and I'd lost sight of it. At that point, my wife pulls up next to me, and she's like, "Come on, get in the car." And so we get in the car, and she took me back up the road to go. We've got two cars, so that both of us could go out and start looking for the dog. My boy got dropped off at a local golf course to go and see if he could see it, and I don't know where he went. I can only tell this from my point of view. He, I think, eventually found the dog in like a little grassy square. The dog, when he came near him, it bolted away again, and so at that point, we're on Facebook, and on Facebook, look, we're looking for this wee dog. This is from 8:30, so 8:30, 9:30, we see the dog. I'm trying to remember everything that happened, because it's that way, just panic, because this isn't our dog. It's not our dog. It's a friend's dog, or my daughter's friend's dog. We've only had it for overnight. It's just utter panic, and still hope at this point, because everybody's telling me where the dogs went, and there was a few dogs that went missing recently and they've turned up in certain areas, so I knew I was going to go and check those areas eventually. So the morning goes on with finding the dog and trying to get it to come to us, and it just would not come towards us at all. It wouldn't go near anybody. It wouldn't go near anybody that's seen the dog. It just kept running away. Eventually the police phoned me, because I had told them about it, and they're like, "We're getting reports of it being down at the beach." So we all head down to the beach, and the wee dog's standing at the edge of the water, and there's people kind of standing around, maybe 10 or 12 people, and other people walking their dogs and various things, and the wee dog's just standing on the edge of the water, and this woman's like, "I've been here for an hour just trying to get the dog to come to me, and it just won't come to me." And I'm still panicking at this point. I was trying to figure out how to get it to come to anybody, so I'd brought like a bag of chicken. It wouldn't come near me with the chicken. I tried throwing the chicken, and my daughter was there, who knew the dog quite well, so we were really hoping the dog would go to her, knowing her, but just nothing. The wee dog just ran along the beach, and then turned back on itself and ran away along to the other end of the beach, and we're talking a mile at least here, if not bigger. So this is me running back and forward, my daughter's running back and forward, my boy running back and forward, my wife running back and forward, trying just to keep an eye and keep the dog in sight, just hoping that it would run a breath or come to one of us. So we ended up going back up the road. I had already been up, got our wee dog, because again the two dogs know each other, so again we thought, get the two dogs together, that will come. And my wee dog wasn't coping, and ended up being sick all over my car, and all over my boy. So we took our wee dog back up the road, and headed back out again. And at the beach, we didn't have a wee dog there at the time. So yeah, this was just, we're talking 4 or 5 hours at this point. Yeah, I can barely move because I've been running. In the car, getting out of the car, trying to trace it. Obviously you're going down streets you've never seen before. The wee dog just kept running down the middle of the road. It was scary. You're trying to kind of keep a distance and follow it slowly, and everybody helped, and that was an amazing thing. So fast forward, we find the dog at a park. We've got our wee dog with us again, because we thought, let's try it again. And the wee dog was kind of sort of coming close, and then it just bolted again and disappeared from all our sights. At that point I lost my boy because his phone ran out of charge, and we're like, where's Josh? And he didn't turn up for another 45 minutes when I said, I'm hoping he's going to come home. So I'd come up the road to see if he was going to come back home. Thankfully, I was pulling out the drive to go and start looking again, hoping that, because he's 18, he's not exactly a child, he's 18 years old, so I knew he would know how to find his way home. But I was just worried because I was like, what if he's fell down or he's went to somewhere he can't get out of, or something like that, because he's been chasing this wee dog. So we're still driving around, and we're all in a phone call at this point. We were all in a phone call pretty much the whole day, like a kind of group chat. And heard my wife say there's something going on. We were looking round about the local school ground. It was like a big playing field with rugby pitches, and my wife seen a commotion in a kind of local field as she was driving by. We could only hear her, so we over the phone heard her getting out of the car shouting, "Get a lead," and then you just heard her and my daughter's coat swishing backwards and forwards. You could tell they were running. We were praying at that point. We've been praying all day, but we had reports of another wee dog being found, and that had also happened during the day. Turned out that was a different dog, and as I said, my wife's running, and then we heard after a few minutes, we've got her, she's safe, we've got her in lead. I had to double check because obviously nobody had been able to get near her at that point, so we're like, how did that happen? And what had happened, from my knowledge of it, and again this is my kind of second, third hand knowledge, is that a boy had come out of one of the local schools to head home. He was meant to be getting a lift that day, and he ended up walking home through the parks, and another girl came out of school as well, and she was walking home as well. They either seen the dog and tried to get it and it fell in the river, or they were walking by and they seen it in the river struggling. I think they seen it in the river struggling. But the boy and the girl both, as far as I know, jumped into the water because the dog's head kept, like, it was still trying away from them, and its head kept getting under the water, is what the boy told us. And eventually he got a hold of her, as far as I know, and the girl helped him, and they both managed to get the dog out the water, and they handed her over to, weirdly enough, one of our family friends. She happened to be in the area, and she just held on to the dog, and my wife seen her and ran, and we're talking, it started at 8:30, this is now just past 3 when the kids were coming out of school. So if the dog hadn't been in the river, would anybody have caught it? I don't know, but the dog's now home, safe with us. It goes back to its owners tonight. Obviously we're very apologetic. It's not something that we would have wanted to happen. It wasn't anybody's fault as such. It's just one of those things where you doubt yourself. You're like, could I have done something different? And it was a good ending. It's, I mean, there's obviously the worst things in the world, but losing a wee dog, especially if it wasn't ours, and having had last November during the fireworks, another wee dog had escaped local to us, and we went out to help look for it, and unfortunately that wee dog had died last year. But in our case, we had two wee saviours, two wee heroes. So my faith has been restored in kids. I says to my kids, I'm normally going down the road or the kids are pouring out the school, and I'm like, oh great, teenagers going to run in front of the car, and I'm just going to put my hand out and give them a high five, because I can't believe that we've managed to get this dog. I mean, the just utter relief was something I've not experienced in a long time. I think the last time was maybe when we lost a kid for 10 minutes at a kind of theme park that we were at. So quite a long story there. If you've been here that long, good for you. But I just needed to get it in camera because otherwise I'll be 5 years down the line, I'll not remember this experience. But yeah, we went up and visited the two kids, gave them a small reward, said very much thank you because otherwise I would still be out looking for her today, this being Sunday. Hoping for the best because I've got no idea how we were going to catch that dog when we were standing on the beach. And the wee dog just wouldn't go near anybody and nobody could get near it. It was just like, how do we catch this dog? And then the last hope disappeared when we were in the field and my daughter had our dog with us on a leash. They're normally used to playing with each other, so that was like, this is going to work, and then it just completely failed. And at that point I was like, I have got no clue what to do. We asked the police, we were like, is there a dog warden? Is there somebody that can actually come out here with some sort of equipment to, whether it be a tranquilizer gun or a big long pole with a hook on it. However they catch dogs. We'd tried the warden and it just went to an answering machine. There's maybe a dog warden. It just went to an answering machine. The police were helpful as well. I can't complain because we did cause a few traffic jams and things that day, and the police just overlooked it completely. So, it's just one of those experiences I'm never gonna forget in my life. The wee puppy is, because she's quite young. She's only about a year, I think, old, if that. Might only be 6 months old. The wee dog. So yeah, just, it's that way, it's utter relief, and it was almost like post-traumatic stress or shock or something, because I did not sleep. I kept dreaming that wee dog had escaped again. We've bought stair gates, our doors remained locked. When she's been out for the toilet, we've took her out in 2 leads, and even then we weren't keen on taking her out, but dogs need to do what they need to do, and we weren't bothered if she did it in the house. I really wasn't bothered, but because she's used to doing the toilet outside, and I felt we kind of had to try and make sure she was all functional after her experience. So she goes home to Ronald's tonight. I'll be a bit of a relief there as well. Don't quite know what I'm going to say to the parents of the dog, other than we're sorry. The wee dog's here. I mean, the wee dog is alive. It's all okay. It's going back to its owner tonight, and it's a great outcome. It's a fantastic outcome, especially when you're sitting there in the dark of that day, thinking I have got absolutely no idea. And like I says, the previous year when the other wee dog died, it was on Facebook. Sorry, they'd said about the loss, and yeah, I mean, for some people that might just be, this is just a wee dog, but for anybody that owns a pet or has a pet, you know the love that you have for your wee dog, and to be in charge of another person's wee dog and lose it and potentially have it die on you was, I have no idea what I was going to do. And it's been a weekend, so been trying to kind of get my head back into normality by doing tidying up and playing Mr. Do, which is this week's arcade challenge game, but I can't really focus on that. But I'm glad that we are where we are. I'm glad we're at the end of the weekend and I'm not out there right now trudging through sand, muck, whatever I have to trudge through to find a lost puppy. It's here, it's safe, sound, and yeah. So, not really a gaming video, it's a vlog. It's me talking about an experience. My Friday Foursome at the beginning. I think the only other thing I've done is my Jurassic Park poster, which I'll maybe leave a link to at the end of this video. And you can go and have a look at that. That wasn't done any time this weekend, that was done previously. So yeah, got a hole in my t-shirt here. Yeah. So guys, cheers for watching. And I'll just go and say cheerio. See you later. Bye.